Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel, Cap Social Network, also known as Capri Social Network. So, in today's, ladies and gentlemen, video, I wanted to talk about how, in my personal and honest opinion, the majority of modern day Black American women are doomed. To cut to the chase, and without further ado, I wanted to show several clips all on behalf of the social media platform TikTok. And I also wanted to, when that being said, show both data and statistics to prove my theory even more on why the majority of Black American women are doomed. Modern day Black American women are doomed, that is. So if you guys bear with me for a minute, I'm going to show you all the clips as well as the data and statistics to prove my theory once again.
Person going through this, but y'all ever work at a job, and this is for my Black woman mainly, and you're
Well, not this one, and I do apologize. Hold on for a moment as I look for some more clips to show you pertaining to the topic.
only person going through this.
I apologize again, ladies and gentlemen, because I just played that clip and I caught myself trying to remove it just then. Okay, I just removed it from my studio.
Destroying themselves by failing to protect their womb. Too many Black American women are failing to protect their womb. I have a 7-year-old son by a Black American woman. Okay. She thought I was going to marry her. It shows Black American women, 50% of them think it's okay to have sex without a commitment. About 3 or 4 of my ex-girlfriends, my American ex-girlfriends, were very upset because I married an African woman. So they're getting ran through, failing to protect their womb, because they thought one day that they would have a chance with me. So to be honest with you, I'm the one that did the hurting. Seriously, I'm the one that did the hurting.
Okay, with that being said, I wanted to show you some data and statistics pertaining to the topic, and this is on behalf of this site Pew Research. So let me share my screen real quick. And this is on abortion, as far as the rates pertaining to Black women, how much higher they are compared to all the other nationalities of women. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is courtesy of pewresearch.org, and you could look this up yourself. In the District of Columbia, in 29 states that reported racial and ethnic data on abortion to the CDC, 39% of all women who had abortions in 2020 were non-Hispanic Black. By the way, 2020 was not that long ago. This was roughly around 3.5, 4 years ago, while 33% were non-Hispanic white, 21% were Hispanic, and 7% were of other races or ethnicities. Among those ages 15 to 44. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this age 15 to 44 year age bracket is a perfect example of the modern day Black woman. The age is the normal ages of the modern day Black American female. Anyway, there were 24.4 abortions per 1,000 non-Hispanic Black women, 11.4 abortions per 1,000 Hispanic women, 6.2 abortions per 1,000 non-Hispanic white women, and 12.7 abortions per 1,000 women of other races or ethnicities in that age range. The CDC reported from those those same 29 states in the District of Columbia. Now, I also wanted to stay on that note, Black women, to the very few, on behalf of the very few you who may follow my channel and my content, whether you know it or not, and this is based upon my perspective, on behalf of each of you who may have had abortions, little do you know, Black women, how you're playing a big part of the Black race becoming less populated, if you catch my drift. In other words, while the majority of other races have much higher populations race-wise compared to the Black American race, due to how so many of you Black women choose, first and foremost, you choose some of the worst calibers and groups of men to get pregnant by some of the main guys that have committed some of the most heinous crimes, that have done jail time / prison time. Choose to use the first and foremost have kids or get pregnant by those guys, only for those guys to manipulate you to the extent where a lot of you usually go by the guy manipulated go for his game when he may talk you out of not having his kid, and you end up usually going as far as having abortions, which is also a form, I consider also a form of homicide. Another, little do we know and like to talk about, because we look at this as a taboo topic, abortions in the African American community. But whether you know it or not, ladies, that's another part of Black genocide as well. Because we already have enough Black males killing other Black males, and is as a perfect example of, and a case in point of Black on Black genocide. Only to add even more to that statistic and fit into that narrative of, on behalf of how so many of you lead the nation, because once again, this is proof right here, courtesy of PureResearch.com, of how you lead out of all nationalities of other women in abortions. With that being said, I also wanted to show this as well. Now, this is on behalf of how your proof of how you're the least desired group of women when it comes to matchmaking on dating apps. Now, this is on behalf of thestar.com, and this article is from March 21st, 2017, so it's roughly 6.5, almost 7 years old. Now, listen closely as I read this to you on how proof of how you're not, and why you're not the most desired groups of women on the planet. White men, congratulations. Women of every racial background seem to strongly prefer dating you. Asian and Latin women are most popular with the gents. Black women and Asian women are the two groups most notably at a dating disadvantage. They are the hardest singles for me to match because they tend to be excluded from the match searches of the majority of clients. Men seemingly open to dating quote unquote anyone and everyone eventually include a no quote unquote no Black women addendum. I also wanted to read this to you as well on even more proof, where explaining why one of the main reasons why you're the least desired Black women out of all races of other women. Now, this is one reason right here. A similar story presents itself when we deconstruct Black women in popular culture. In film and television, Black women are often portrayed as two-dimensional, quote-unquote, strong and sassy stereotypes. See Leslie Jones' character in Ghostbusters, Answer the Call, or Jennifer Hudson as Carrie Bradshaw's personal assistant in Sex in the City, the movie. When cast as a romantic interest, they're usually played by biracial or multiracial women with lighter skin tones, such as Halle Berry or Zendaya. And this also explains how when it comes to dark skin, both dark skin African American women and lighter skin, much lighter skin African American females, how lighter skin African American females and biracial, in some instances multiracial African American females are looked at and have always been looked at since the slavery days as much more feminine, as opposed to a whole lot of you darker skinned African American females. Listen to this as well, Black women, on another example of why the majority of you modern day Black females are doomed. Society tells us that Black women are hypersexual, but also more masculine than other women, while it suggests that Asian men are less masculine. Anyway, that's a whole other story about the Asian men for a whole other video. Anyways, a lot of you are, to be honest, more masculine, are becoming more and more masculine Black women, to the extent where even our men, our own Black men and brothers, are shying away from you due to how so many of you want to take on a role of a man yourselves. No matter how you try to, ladies, Black ladies, you will never be able to fully take on a role of what it's like to be a man. Period, point blank. Because I work with quite, and with that being said, I work with quite a bit of women, Black women that are masculine, women that take, that will smoke excessively cigarettes, marijuana, who also may come to work from time to time wearing fitted hats, women with several tattoos, women that like to use terms such as bruh, my end, just to give you a few examples. Not realizing, Black women, how you're becoming that much, even that much more less desirable amongst the dating market, even amongst your own fellow brothers, due to your masculinity. Now listen to this as well, pertaining to this topic, or why a lot of you modern day Black women are doomed. If I can find it. Now, it's also saying Black women are viewed as hypersexual because of things like the legacy of chattel slavery, which also suggested that Black women are more masculine and animalistic than other women. We've seen this over and over in the U.S., where how certain people talk about former First Lady Michelle Obama. I also want to say on that note, ladies and gentlemen, how there are quite a bit of women, Black women, almost as many of them that carry pistols as they do men, which is another sign of how you come across as masculine. And another reason why you're some of the least desired groups of women out of all other groups of women, even amongst your own fellow brothers who are going more and more outside of that race, especially brothers that are much more successful, and some of the most prominent brothers that have several dating options are some of the most successful Black brothers you can find. Because look at Michael Jordan as a prime example. Also, look at Jonathan Majors, the actor Jonathan Majors, even though that didn't turn out so good with him dating outside of his race. Guys by the likes of Charles Barkley, former NBA player Charles Barkley, who has been married to a white woman for quite some time. Guys by the likes of Shannon Sharp, host of the podcast Club Shay Shay, who happened to, I believe, have kids by a white woman as well. Anyways, I could go on and on. Anyways, I also want to show this in regards to this topic. Now, this is, let me blow it up, just in case some of you may be struggling to read it. Now, this is on behalf of CDC.gov. And this is based upon the rate of syphilis among almost all the other races of women. You have, first and foremost, Black or African American, American Indian or Native American, Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, Hispanic or Latino, persons of multiple races, white, and then Asian. As you can see, the 8 right here, which is at the very lowest on the list or the chart, is Asian. Now, if you pay close attention right here at 34%, this is amongst African American women. Let me also show you this as well. Now, this is on behalf of the rates of gonorrhea amongst all the other groups of females. Once again, African American, and look at how high that number is, 662%, 340 on behalf of American American Indian or Alaska Native, 192 Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, 146 persons of multiple races, 121 Hispanic or Latino, 75 white, 31 Asian. One more, and this is on behalf of chlamydia, which is extremely huge, 1,086. I guess that's the total number of Black American females in the whole US of A as far as chlamydia affections. Once again, on behalf of Black or African American, Black with the most highest rate of cases. Number 2, American Indian or Alaska Native. Number 3, Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander. Number 4, Hispanic or Latino. 5, persons of multiple races. 6, white. And then 7, and at the lowest on the chart is Asian, as always. And I would say, for the most part, let me stop sharing this. It's due to how so many of you, once again, Black females, pick some of the worst guys to choose to become intimate with, especially when it comes to choosing guys who you want to have as fathers, guys that have done prison time and in most cases have all kinds of diseases. In the worst case scenario, a lot of these guys come affected with usually HIV and AIDS as well, due to how a lot of them are usually sexually abused while in prison without using protection. I could name a list of other reasons, but that is the main reason why so many of you Black women lead the nation, the whole US of A, and the most infected with STDs. Excuse me, I start to say HTDs, but STDs. Anyways, I'm going to show some more clips pertaining to the topic on why I feel like the majority of Black modern day women are doomed. So bear with me once again.
The only person going through this, but y'all ever
Why does it keep going to this same clip over and over? I thought I removed it. Now this is on the screen.
Come on now, y'all. Come on now, y'all. It does not take rocket science to watch this video and think to yourself, something is wrong, something is going wrong with the Black community.
By the way, those women, judging from my vantage point, seen the same women who were doing those dances at I believe a high school gym, either middle school or high school gym, have to at least be around the mid 30s to early 40s age bracket, which is another case in point of how modern day, so many modern day, ladies and gentlemen, black women are doomed.
Been placed into modern women. Fear, scarcity, and lack. Well, what if he does this? What if he does that? When 80% of the time when the divorce is filed, it's a woman filing it. Men aren't leaving relationships. It's you ladies because you're dual-minded. You're chaotic. You want to be impressive to your friends instead of impressing and doing what you should do with your family and your man. Because these chicks you're talking about, all these boss chicks, I sit around and look at them all day. They're single as
So the majority of black women will die alone in this country. They will die alone, and they will die alone raising children. Now, I'm going to use this number to give more of a picture of what I'm saying. And this is a large number, so you could give and take whatever you want to, and the number is like, you can't do, it's large. 80% of marriages fail, and the person that files for divorce is the woman 80% of the time.
And that last clip was on behalf of the late, great Kevin Samuels.
Now, let me just say this. This generation of men is sad as fuck. Like, hold on. So I was driving in this area that I was in. I wasn't familiar with. Like, I wasn't never in the area before. So it was like a slanted turn, left turn, but it was like, it wasn't like a full turn. So I don't know. By me turning, I just assumed that I was supposed to be in the turning lane. But anyway, so the girl that was turning, she ended up in order to not hit me, she ended, and I just dyed my hair, so my nails black. But cause I didn't have no gloves. But anyway, so she ended up turning but when she ended up turning, but in order to not hit me, she hit the curb, so her tire ended up popping. So I'm like about to get out snapping. So, and then she getting out snapping, like when she get out, she like, you need to learn how to drive. So I'm like, what you mean I need to learn how to drive? I had the right of way. I'm like, it wasn't your goal. Like, I'm starting going. She like, no, I'm not meaning like that. She like, but you were in the turning lane and I was doing a slanted turn. But it was slanted, but it was like, kind of straight, but it was slanted. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But so she was like, you were in the turning lane, you were supposed to be in the straight lane. And I'm like, oh, okay. I said, I apologize. I'm like, I ain't normally around this area. Like, I'm not from around this area, so I didn't know. I said, but I do apologize. I'm like, you want my insurance card? Because, she had her tire pop. So she ain't hit my card though. I don't know shit. But anyways, so she like, no, it's fine. I'm like, is there anything I can do to help you then? She like, do you know how to change the tire? I'm like, no, but I can. But we can get it done, So she got the tire and shit out the back trunk or whatever, and then we had got her tire changed within 15 minutes, probably sooner. But anywho, my point was, not one man stopped to help us. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, y'all just ain't shit. Like, the generation.
And you know why? Because the vast majority of you modern day black women come across as so not only entitled, but so arrogant as well, to the extent where anytime a guy may stop to help you, anytime you may be stranded on the side of the road due to having caused trouble or problems, is due to how when a guy may stop to help you, you always thinking that he's trying to get into your pants, so to speak. trying to use that as an ulterior motive to want to hook up with you, which is true in some instances. But then again, in other instances, he could just be showing you how sorry he may feel for you on behalf of him, pulling to the side of the road to be nice enough to help you. And some of you are also so arrogant and mean spirited to the extent where when a guy may do all he can to show how much of a gentleman he is or generous to you, you won't even much take the time to thank him on behalf of doing so. The same types of women who go on social media and complain about instances of this nature, because she just said this female who is not really a bad looking female, but I could tell she still comes across as pretty entitled, judging from this one clip and based upon her experience of being stranded on the road due to her having car issues, and she comes across as mean-spirited and arrogant. Anyways,
is crazy. This generation of men, like, and then y'all wonder why women be so independent. Cause you motherfuckers ain't shit for real. But that's crazy. Like, I was irritated in a bitch. But I ain't know how to change the tire before that. But so shout out to her, cause I know how to change the tire.
And I also wanted to give my 2 cents once again on why I feel like, in my personal and honest opinion, so many modern day Black women are doomed due to the simple fact that a lot of you will never know what it's like for a man to approach you face to face, due to how some of you are so used to having these smartphones and having access to all this social media and these dating apps, to the extent where when a guy is trying to approach you face to face, you do all you can to brush him off, either you're on your phone texting somebody else who in some cases or instances is usually your main guy. If not that, you're usually doing video chats on your phone with either one of your homegirls or your main guy. If not that, you're having a phone to your ear, talking on the phone to either one of your homegirls or your main guy. And it's gotten so ridiculous nowadays that most modern day Black men have just completely given up on approaching modern day Black females in person, due to how some of you are so standoffish. Some of you main women who go on social media all day, every day, complain about how you don't get approached in public anymore by men. Cold approach is one of the more technical terms for it. Although when you do get cold approached in person, you go out of your way to brush guys off, due to how so many of you have become so arrogant due to social media and egotistical, due to social media. And even when a lot of you try to match with guys on dating apps, most of the time you do all you can to even reject those guys on dating apps, due to the simple fact that a lot of you are so wishy-washy. What I mean by wishy-washy is you don't know what you want in a man, period, point blank, which is a main reason why so many of you are single until this day, including a lot of you that are single mothers and will remain both single and single mothers forever. Anyways,
Let me just say that.
well, that clip I just played,
living life off grid for the most part. So if women, okay, if your daughter saw you with the men or talking about how great men are to have around, why men are so valuable and so important, and what you should do to make a man happy because men are so special. her outlook on manhood and relationships would be very different than get your degree, go to school, get your CNA, get out here. And like you said, relationships are not a priority. So basically you're teaching your daughter to grow up and be you alone.
No, well, the thing is, Kevin, is that I've even pushed that on my daughter to make it a priority, but I do feel that she needs a level of education to be able to take care of herself.
Exactly what I just said.
Right. So my thing is with her.
Again, they make their daughters carbon copies of them, and they give their daughters fear, scarcity, and lack. Their success, your daughter's success, is not in a man. It's in a job and an education.
But I've always told my daughter that
it is not.
Once again, that was the late, great Kevin Samuels providing his quote-unquote 2 cents on why the majority of modern-day Black women are doomed.
Say this. I don't. This is why other groups of women are seemingly more successful when it comes to relationships and marriages and anything of that sort than us. And that's because a lot of what we are taught as women, especially within the Black community, we're taught that womanhood is finesse culture, right? Within the Black community, we're taught a lot of the times that in order to be successful in a relationship, you have to have one up over your partner, over your husband, over your boyfriend, over your significant other, over your lover, over whatever. Like, you're supposed to be on the up. You're supposed to have the leverage. You're supposed to have the upper hand. We're taught that that is how you're supposed to conduct yourself within a relationship. Which is, again, what makes us not that ideal for a relationship by any group of men. Right? We really do get fucked up based upon how we're taught, what we're taught. Oh, make sure that, you get this out of him, and make sure that he'll never get that out of you, and make sure that you got your own this. Like, we're taught how to be snakes. That's womanhood within the Black community. May the best snake win. And what that does is it creates this environment to where nobody wants to marry us. Nobody wants to be in committed long-term relationships. The only thing that a lot of men really want to do with us is fuck. And the reason why that is because a part of that finesse, a big chunk, a major part of the whole finesse game that we're taught as Black women in order to be a woman, a big chunk of that finesse is sex. So I know how to do that very well. Right? I'll use my body to finesse you.
And I also wanted to mention this, guys. This beautiful sister here happens to be a well-known YouTuber by the name of Danica Marie. Once again, she goes by the name of Danica Marie. As a matter of fact, I'll probably, right after the video, put in the link if you want to follow her or her handle to her YouTube channel. So I should have a good probably 3, maybe 4 clips left to show you guys.
Play this.
That one I just played. So I'm going to remove it.
Count is the quickest way to talk yourself off some coochie. Because I absolutely am not giving it to you after you ask it. And this weird obsession with having a low number doesn't make sense to me. Because like I said before, at the end of the day, do you want a surgeon who's only done one surgery? Nope. No, you don't. You want a surgeon with experience. Yes or no? So when you ask these women what's their body count, you're looking for someone who has a low one, and then all you're going to do is run back and tell your homies about how she can't suck dick, how she can't arch her back, how she can't do X, Y, and Z. Why? When you can have a woman who knows what she's doing is going to be able to please.
If you are a young virgin who happened to stumble across this video, please do yourself a favor and do not listen to the foolishness coming out of this woman's mouth. To compare the skill set of a surgeon whose occupation it is to save lives, which needs practice, of course, but to that of a loose woman who can't keep her legs closed for the sake of experience? Now that's insane. You might not believe it, but there are men out here who actually believe in purity over your skills in bed. You out here flexing having a high body count, but at the end of the day, you just damage goods. Because who really wants a car with 100,000 miles on it? Who really wants a woman that everybody done touched and been with? You know how much of a flex it is to say, oh yeah, I saved myself for my husband? How many people you know who have done that in this generation? You learn your spouse as God intended when you get married. But ain't nothing out there but STDs and ST demons. The real flex is no body count.
And this is on behalf of judging from the feedback that this beautiful sister just gave in a clip of all of you modern day black females who look at marrying before you carry, so to speak, as corny, as lame. Although it will benefit you usually in the long run, as opposed to being a baby mama or a single mother. On behalf of all you who take so much pride and look at that as quote unquote a badge of honor as being a baby mama / single mother. This beautiful sister right here, who just gave the 100,000-mile car analogy, just said it period, point blank, and in a nutshell, also why so many of you modern day black females are doomed. Once again, you just heard it from quote unquote the horse's mouth by her just giving her perspective on why so many of you modern day black females are doomed due to how so many of you are damaged goods, so many of you have been ran through due to how so many of you are so promiscuous, how you just refuse to keep your legs closed and wait on the Most High to send you that ideal man, a guy that will, in most cases, make not only good fathers, well, a good father, let me rephrase that, but a good husband, somebody who you could find and who you could be able to start and form a solid foundation with. Anyways, I think I may have a good 1 or 2 clips, and I have to share my screen again on behalf of my TikTok page and favorites.
You're so out of control, and this is precisely why you are a woman that the father of your child does not want. And listen, no, he actually wants to be with me. He didn't want me to divorce because I filed for the divorce. And I tell you this, I'm happy to debate you, but we have to inspect the background and credentials of the persons we're talking to. You were the person who brought up that you have a degree in molecular cell biology, like we're that you didn't want to answer, that you didn't want me to bring up, but you want to talk about a marital status. Sir, first of all, I don't even push the idea of women being with men, first of all. You're interrupting again. Let me explain to you why this came up. You mentioned that you are a representative for women. Now, let me give you a comparison. Yes, a representative, a leader. Now, take a time out to be silent so that you might hear someone else speak other than yourself, because it extremely is narcissistic that you feel you have to be talking constantly. Many times I volunteered to stop talking so you can express yourself. Now it's my turn to explain something to you. Now, you said you're a representative of women. You're a leader of women. Fantastic. Leaders are always under scrutiny because we want to know that you are somehow better off or superior, or your thinking, philosophy, and methods have yielded greater outcomes than the average person, which gives you merit for actually teaching them. Now understand this. If you are a woman who can't even maintain a meaningful relationship with the father of your child, you failed in romance.
Whoa, hold on. No.
You hold on. It's not your turn.
No, because you don't get to paint a false narrative, sir. Sir, you don't get to paint a false narrative.
No, you will get a turn. It's just not your turn now. And you should have taught your kids that, to take turns. I'm going to stop talking and then you can speak.
Watch till the end.
Now, I'm going to show one last clip. And this is a perfect case in point, ladies and gentlemen, of how modern day Black women do not know, period, point blank, what they want in a man. Because this sister on this very last clip I'm about to show you guys happened to meet a guy that was perfect, that any woman, pretty much any other woman, would be willing and very willing and raring to go for, in some cases marry. But she happened to say she left him because he had no flaws. And I'm assuming in so many other words, she was saying how he was pretty predictable, because it's a well-known fact that so many women, Black women, modern day Black women, go for some of the most dysfunctional guys due to how unpredictable a lot of these dysfunctional guys are. You know, the dirty dick rottenness, excuse my language, the nucks, the rays, the pookies. I could go on and on guys of that nature. Anyways.
There's more earlier this year, I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man. He loved God. He was a praying man. He loved and adored me. He was there for me. He was handsome. He was well educated. He didn't have any kids. He checked all the boxes, but there was still something missing. And I just knew that I could not go through with this marriage. There was just something that did not connect. I felt that there should have been a connection between he and I in order for me to be his wife. I cut off the engagement. And it was so difficult because he was a good man. It's easy when a person is not good. You can justify why you cut things off. But when a person is truly a good person, it's hard to explain. So I found myself trying to explain it to family and friends, and they were asking me a whole bunch of questions that, I could not say, exactly why, other than the fact that I just did not feel the connection. There was something that was not there that I needed to be there in order for this to be my husband.
There's more
earlier this year, I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man.
Now, how she said he didn't have any kids, I just wonder, does she have kids? If so, I'm assuming she has more than one kid at that, due to how there are so many Black women, from the modern day and most youngest generation of Black women from as young as 15 to older, who have multiple kids, and in most cases by multiple men, due to also how a lot of you look at that as cool, as what's in, as opposed to having all your kids by the same man. Anyways, I'm going to end this video, and I want you guys to make sure you like the video, you comment on it, you share it. Last but not least, you subscribe to the channel. Excuse me, because I stumble across my words. If I didn't say it quite right, the word subscribe, I'm saying it again. Last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the channel, Caprice Social Network. Last but not least, you guys have a good one and take care.